Hey, welcome to the program. I'm Keith Hittner together with Keith and Kelvin Kaemingk, the Money Man. We're broadcasting from the Rack Shack studio in the Twin Cities. Have you ordered your turkey yet? Have you ordered your Thanksgiving turkey? Do you cook your own?
We do our own.
I asked Jen.
I asked her. We just get one from the shack. I kind of like doing them. So some people do. Sadly, some people want to cook them.
I do. I cook my turkeys because I smoke turkey a couple times a week. Thanksgiving and
But they're so good. I know last year. We got one last year. It's unbelievable.
Their orders are flying in. Go to Barbecue Store.com. Order your 12-pound turkey, and see what you order the turkey. You're going to pick it up on Thanksgiving morning, and it's fresh. Smoked, lightly flavorful. You'll love it. Pick it up, stick it in the Rack Shack Barbecue Store.com. And this is your real estate trust. Our website is realestate.com. The number to call for help is 612-780-8000. We'll get all that business out of the way. 612-627-8000. I gave our producer a little clip. I'm going to ask him to plug in. You ready to go with that? As soon as he's ready, go ahead and play it. This is from August 7th.
Happen, and I will bet you a steak dinner on it. I think that at the end of the day, when the election is over, Trump will have won, and he will have won by a significant margin.
Huge. I'll take that.
I think it'll be huge.
I'll take that bet.
Yep, because I think that there is a huge number of people out in the country,
Secret Trump voters?
who are going to vote for him. They don't want to say it out loud because they get ridiculed and all that stuff, and they're just keeping their mouth shut. And they'll walk in the voting booth and they'll pull the lever for Donald Trump. And they'll come out there. And the news media, like they have all the last year, will come out with their mouth thing and wide open. Surprised, all shocked, wondering what the heck happened.
Prognosticator.
So, if you want to
The
know,
Gift of Prophecy by Keith Hittner.
if you're pregnant and you want to know if it's a boy or a girl, give me a call 612-627-8000. I can easily.
He will want to lay his hands on your stomach.
Exactly, and I'll
Which
let
is
you.
similar to what Trump will.
What do you say, Kelvin? I mean, that was obviously directed at you.
It was directed at me, and as I have said all along, it will be the happiest bill I ever pay.
You know what else is fun about it is my brother, who's a lefty, and
I'm not a lefty, by the way.
I know. My brother is though, however, and he lives in Hawaii, right? Who, of course, went to Hillary, and I said to not have seen this coming, you would have to be living on an island someplace. And of course, he is, and so they didn't see it coming. So, what's the big impact on the world as we see it, based on these results? I think it's a Reagan-esque landslide. I mean, it really is. I mean, it'll be, by the end of the weekend, they will have called Michigan, Arizona, they've called, so he's at, 290 right now.
Would you consider it a landslide?
It is a landslide. If you look at it, it's anytime you're over 300 electoral votes, it's a pretty big mandate. And whether you want to call it a landslide or not, I mean, she won basically 38%. If you look at the number of states, that's pretty significant.
Right.
And if you look at the county map, county by county,
It's unbelievable,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
it's like
Did you see that map that's
80-some
floating
%.
around where it just has all the red?
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than a Verizon.
So there's a huge conversation now, of course, surrounding the Electoral College and popular vote versus...
Well, of course, right? Because she got California, which is going to have a lot of population. So I think she may end up winning the popular vote, right? As it stands right now, she's ahead, but it's pretty meaningless, and our founding fathers set it up this way so that otherwise you're going to have all of these politicians there will literally campaign in California, New York.
So there was a
and
map.
the major metropolitan
There's a
cities.
map that's out there right now as well that shows the bulk of the population around the country. And so they said, well, if you go to the popular vote and you look at where the concentration of the population is, they have a small portion along the East Coast, a small portion along mid to Southern California. There are small areas and pockets around Minneapolis and St. Paul, and areas of Denver and Chicago and this type of thing. Think about how the rest of the country would feel if they look at that map and say, okay, here's the concentration of population, and here's where the popular vote comes from, as opposed to having the Electoral College where they split it up and give equal weight to each state. by these, this algorithm of numbers that they use, and how they would feel slighted not having their voices heard. I live in Minnesota, obviously. I feel like my voice is not heard plenty because I typically will vote conservative and for the Republican candidates. And last time that Minnesota was red was red was, what was it?
Reagan.
Nixon.
Mondale. I think that Minnesota was the only state that Reagan didn't get.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, because we voted for Mondale, who was right. So Nixon was the last. Nixon was the last time that Minnesota voted for a Republican. So I mean, that's how I feel. So I get that. But I think that the Electoral College certainly has its place. Obviously, it's the way we've done it for a very long time. There's been 4 presidents, from what I understand, that lost the popular vote and won the presidency. And look at the margin. I mean, the margin of difference between the popular vote between the two candidates. I mean, we're talking a very small portion. So
337,636 votes.
So very small portion of a difference, right?
Right.
So the whole country is like, how can this happen? How can this happen? And I understand there are a lot of people grieving, and I totally get that.
But I don't. You lost.
I know that I would be. I would not be like crying in my soup and burning cars if Trump wouldn't have won. But so I think that's extreme. But I get that people are upset about it, and they can be upset about it for many reasons. One, they lost. I get that. But to have this overreaction is just, it's too much for me.
What's really stupid about it? Because all the people who are protesting they're protesting in blue states or blue cities or blue blue area. They're burning their own stuff.
Right.
How dumb is that? And then a week from now, just like the other movements that George Soros has been sponsoring and
that's the other thing about the protests too, is they're not. I mean, sorry to cut you off, but they're not just a group of individuals didn't get together and band and they have a cause that they're working towards and they really want to do this, and they'll argue that and they'll say, oh, he's racist, he's a bigot, and they'll throw names and sling mud all they want, and they just become what they're saying that they're fighting against.
Right.
It's just a complete flippant joke to me.
Yeah, it is a joke. And it'll all go away. It'll fizzle out and it'll go away.
Maybe. I mean, the media is so absolutely left, which I totally love what this election has exposed, I think, on the media and what WikiLeaks has done with the just sheer corruption of networks like, CNN and the collusion in between these presidential debates and giving questions and all this, and they're firing people over it. I mean, this is real stuff, and what it's doing is it's shaping the viewpoint of our young people in our country. And you go to colleges and these people are protesting. They don't even know what they're protesting about. They're just screaming and tipping over garbage cans. It's
and because
ridiculous.
they've had no civics class, they have no idea about how the country, the government is structured.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Another map I've seen is one of millennials and what they've voted, and the whole country is basically blue, right? Well, do you get
Basically red, you mean.
do you get smarter?
Red,
do you get more well-rounded? It's blue, basically blue. The millennials vote blue.
Oh, the millennials, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you get smarter? Are you more educated? Are you more well-rounded? Do you have more of a worldly view? And are you more compassionate and all these things as you age, right? So young people, I mean, they don't get it. I'm not old. I'm 37 years old, right? But there's a segment of our society that they're not there yet. So long as our population stays and we're fighting for what's good and what's right in this country, and we can change some of these ideals that our education system is putting on people, the media is putting on people, then they'll get there.
They'll get there, that's right. You listen to my daughters, your sisters, and talk to them, and a lot of other of the left side of the fence, so to speak. And if you actually start talking about issues, their arguments are so thin. And then when you start getting down into the issues, they don't have any idea. They can't even have a conversation about it because their whole thing is all based on emotion.
I thought it's pretty interesting too when you look at what Trump won over what Romney won. He wins Wisconsin, he wins Pennsylvania, Iowa, Florida, and Ohio, all states that Romney lost, and even the establishment. I'd love to interview Romney right now.
So we have House. We being the conservatives and Republicans have House, Senate, in the presidency in January. We're excited for that, and apparently Minnesota did pretty well
Minnesota,
too. So
House and Senate.
we're gonna head out to break here. That's probably it. We've done enough gloating, I think. 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. This is your real estate chalk talk. Sorry if we offended anybody with our conservative views. 612-627-8000. We'll be right back.